Hello, welcome to Airing Out. I'm Josh.
And I'm Jonas.
And this is Jerry, and we are back.
Is he though?
It's Darth Jerry
It's
today.
Darth Jerry.
He's got his cloak on because we missed Star Wars Day, sadly.
Kinda, yeah. I mean, it was a bit of a bummer. We had our Mandalorian episode.
That came out the day before.
Yes, that was like lined up for the days, but then stuff happened and we couldn't be on the line.
But the PC is working magically again. I don't know why. We don't ask questions.
I guess you still want to test it and everything.
Yeah, it's either software, RAM, or GPU. Is what I've narrowed it down to. So
over the course of like 3 days.
3 days, yeah. So it's been out. So I've had a throat infection as well. So I've been ill. I've been running a nice high fever.
Yeah, if you're wondering, this is 2 meters exactly.
Yeah, people have been saying that we're not isolating. It's the trick of the lens. So
Yeah.
we're actually 2 meters apart.
Exactly.
This room is humongous, apparently. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. So I'm feeling a bit better today. My antibiotics
Nice.
have the course is run. So I think it's just getting the swelling down, and then I'll be back to normal.
Oh, can't wait.
Lovely.
No.
Well, you did make me dinner the other day, which was very
Yes.
nice because I was feeling a bit.
No, we definitely have started to do that a bit more, cooking together,
You cook
which is
for me.
nice. Yeah,
I do the dishes
you do the dishes.
and the meat.
That was the best thing, guys. It was like we had cooked dinner together, and it was
This is
cleanup time. And so
You
Josh
wash
just,
all dry?
yeah,
It's like-
Josh just goes up to the sink and starts washing. I'm like, okay, if you want to do the washing, I'll do the drying.
You just left it in the drying rack.
No, that's not how it I said, do you want to do the washing and I'll do the drying, or do you want me? Because I can do the washing if
That's
you want to
so
do the drying.
implied, though. You do the washing, I'll do the drying, or we could do that around if you wanted to.
So
but,
Josh definitely said he would do the washing, and I was like, fine, I'll take the drying job.
You did not.
I dried like 2 things.
Like a fork.
Yeah, that counts as one. I don't know what it actually was. But like I dried 2 things and the rest was just like there in our...
To the point where the next night's evening's dishes, I was like, you know what? He said he's doing the drying, and I'm going to take the high ground here and not touch them, which is definitely the moral high ground.
Yeah.
So I just piled the newly cleaned wet dishes on top.
And everything got dried.
Everything got dried eventually, yeah.
Yeah.
We now have a pile of... No, we don't. We're very
No.
clean. We're very clean.
I cleaned it all away like 2 days
Are you
afterwards.
sure I did it?
No, I did it.
Okay, I definitely
Yeah.
did one of them, and I was like...
I made sure, because that would have been like, then you would have done all the work, and that's not
But you
okay.
did all the cooking, that, or maybe, I don't know. I can't keep
Yesterday.
remember. I chopped the chicken.
You chopped the chicken. Well, you cut... Guys, is this a thing? Because like I've never seen someone cut chicken with scissors.
That's what scissors are for.
Okay.
100% you cut chicken breast with scissors, because then you don't have to worry about like a chopping board getting messy. You just pick up the chicken breast, chop it straight into the pan in perfect size chunks.
Okay.
That's what like those big meat scissors are for.
Oh, yes. I mean, I do know, like, because we yes. Because we do have, like, when we have turkey for Thanksgiving, which isn't a German tradition, but, like, we do have turkey
Good.
or like, goose for Christmas or something. You do get, like, big scissors that you can also use to cut through bone.
Yeah,
I don't know why would you, but, like, yes,
Yeah.
they exist.
No, it's the same kind of thing. So they are scissors for chicken. It's not just me, right? It's definitely.
Is it?
It saves. I mean, there's things I would cut with a knife for sure, but stuff like chicken, like that's just going straight into the pan anyway.
Fair
It's
enough,
fairly
fair enough.
easy cooking.
Yeah. Because,
Yeah.
like, I definitely know more people have separate cutting boards for, like, meats.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't cut meat on a wooden board because the meat like seeps into the wood.
Yeah, and then you can't actually wash it off properly.
Never. No, so you should use plastic, and then wood. You can serve it on a wooden tray because you're artsy af.
Yeah, I've never done that ever in my life.
You do it. In fact, we just say we reach breaking points. So sometimes I'm a little lazy. If I'm having
Breaking
like
point.
a
Oh.
cheat day, I make myself some chips and some like chicken nugget type things.
When you have a little cheat day.
Yeah,
Okay.
once in a blue moon.
Okay.
And you know what? It's saving on the dishes. I'll just eat it off the chopping the bacon tray.
The bacon tray.
Because it's not too greasy. As long as it's not greasy. If it's greasy, it's got to go.
Yeah.
But if it just comes out, you're like, yeah, I'll go for it.
Mm.
And he's done it now.
Multiple
times.
Yeah, I certainly have.
It's great.
But
It's the future of
I have
cooking.
to say it is roast veggies. So I have like carrots, I have potatoes, I have celery.
That's like, you know,
I
when you
can
get
put
those
some
veggie
mushrooms
crisps
on there,
right?
yeah.
That are like,
Oh,
so
no, no,
healthy
no.
veggie crisps, right? That's the equivalent. It's like, oh no, I'm
Oh,
better than
no,
you
no,
because
no.
I'm eating vegetables. It's like, no, they're crisps. Get over yourself.
No. Those
Same
veggie
thing.
crisps are disgusting.
They're so bad.
They're-
I always like have a handful. I'm like, oh yeah, it's cool to get that much flavor, and then you're like, this is way too much
Like,
flavor. I don't
Sweet
like
potato
this.
fries, yes, but if it's like, eating like rose pebbles or something like.
I don't know what they use.
Pebbles.
To be fair, I don't understand seaweed either. People just have a bag of seaweed and you're just like, oh, this is great. I'm like,
You're just eating like salt.
yeah.
I don't know. I
Yeah,
like
that's
it
what
once
you-
in a while, but like definitely sushi is where seaweed is at.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But no, yes, we
No,
definitely.
I definitely have eaten off the baking tray. That makes him very happy. It's just like,
Yeah, I was like, hey, because it's something that you never said it, but I felt judged for. Yeah, because I come out with my bacon tray and it's on my little cork thing so it doesn't burn through everything, so it's still at 200 degrees. And I sit down on the sofa, I'm like, yeah, have my snacks. And you're just like, right, eating off your wooden platter of meat and cheese. Like, no.
I
red
don't
wine
eat
in
meat
hand.
and cheese. What?
It's all lies.
It's all lies.
They're not even square. Oh, man. Right, so yes, while...
This has been happening, yes.
What happened? Yes.
Yes.
While I've been ill, though,
Yeah.
and the PC was broken, so this is usually where I sit and procrastinate and work, and pretty much everything.
Yes.
So we edited the film here, we play video games here, I make these YouTube videos here, everything.
So your life is here.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Well, to be fair, especially with the way like the world's going now with uni from
I
home
mean, you
and
would
stuff.
even uni work here.
I do uni work
Yeah.
here, but now like lectures and stuff will be all digital. It'll be like everything that needs to be done you can do from a computer. So why not have a boss ass computer station to work from, right?
Right.
But this means yesterday and the day before when my PC was like, nope. I was a little lost. I wasn't feeling great either, so I couldn't just go outside. Not that we're allowed outside anyway, but like, you know, sneak around outside. I wasn't feeling 100%, so I loaded up the PlayStation
Yeah.
to play some Uncharted,
Yeah.
which they chucked them out for free ages ago. Actually, they put them out for free again. But I already had them, and I've been meaning to play them for years. I just haven't really got around to it.
Because it's console and, you know, it's
Yeah, like
what
since
it
you
is.
go PC, it's hard to go back. And then the game, like the first game's like 2007, which is
But that's what you played.
yeah. I played the first one all yesterday.
Yeah. It was great fun because I was working on some stuff for my next year's course, like trying to apply for it. So I was just like sitting, typing
Working
away, having you in like my peripheral vision and like the background, playing that game. It was great.
It's I mean, stuff's come on in the video game world
Uh-huh.
for sure. Like just, I mean I died infinitely more to the parkour system than I did the actual gunfights.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Yeah,
So it's
so,
based on like where the camera's looking, not where your guy is. So like
Oh,
moving
yeah.
left will be like up and right, and I'm like, but why?
So for those of you who might not know the game, it's basically Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
So you're searching in that game. You're searching for
El Dorado.
El Dorado.
Which is a golden treasure.
Yeah.
But it's set in the modern day.
It totally reminds me of the new Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
The film.
So I mean, well, they took inspiration from the Tomb Raider games of old.
Uh-huh.
National Treasure and Indiana Jones are kind of their free
Yeah.
influences.
Because it's exactly that. You take a ship to this
Island.
deserted island and then you do stuff and then there are monsters that protect the treasure or whatever. Because
it's a video game.
haunted or whatever. No, it's...
I mean, to be fair, like, people don't really talk about the first one that much. It was kind of the first one that did what it did.
Yeah.
And the second one is meant to perfect it. I played a little bit of the second one yesterday, but it was late. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to playing for the whole series, because I'm not doing anything intense on the PC at the moment, just until I get it fixed, because I just want it to... If it runs and we can record this...
Fine.
Let's just leave it at that. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna, overload it or anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was fun. Would recommend. I mean, it's free at the moment because PlayStation chucked it out for stay-at-home COVID, so they put all 3 games out for free, and Uncharted 4 was free a couple months ago on PlayStation Plus. So definitely, if you're sitting around with nothing to do, it took 6 hours to play for the first game. Yeah, it wasn't too long.
It's a good divide, I think, between shooting and basically solving a puzzle. Like all the parkour stuff is like finding the right path, recognizing what things you can hold on to while like climbing and stuff.
Definitely something that immediately was clear in the second game, where it's like, if it's yellow, you can climb it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be like obvious that it's like, this is climbable. The first game I'm like, so this rock is climbable, apparently. Who knew? And some of them are like, I've no idea. And can you make that jump? Can you not? And a lot of like trial and error.
Sometimes it was funny I had like a little, I took little breaks to watch you play. Yeah. And it was just like you trying this thing, and it's like, nope, died. You trying this thing, nope, died. It's like, will he find the solution?
I mean, the stuff that you pick up, I guess, of like years of videos, so it's like, oh, can you grab onto that rope? And just looking at it, I was like, no.
Probably not.
Like, because it just doesn't look like a movable object in the game.
Yeah, proper animated.
Yeah, like it wasn't properly rendered. It was just a static object. But I was like, okay, I'll try it. And then, of course, you jump to your death and you're like, right. But there was no... So I hate puzzle games.
Yeah.
I don't like them because you either... It tends to be... There's the odd exception. But it tends to be you either figure it out or you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's no... You're either flying through it or you sit there for 2 hours going... What am I meant to do? So I never got stuck in the game, which I'm very thankful for. But yes, I especially there are games that are puzzle games, and you're just like, you can just get to a point, and especially these days with Google, it's like, how long before you go, okay, this isn't satisfying to figure out yourself, because all it is you're looking for the pattern to find and fix. But yeah, so and it wasn't very hard. I mean, the game's made for kids, so
young
adults.
You do get like hints. They aren't very good, but like
terrible.
You do get hints, which is nice. Like if you're actually stuck, but some of them are just not helpful at all. It's like, go in this direction. You're like, yes, I know. This is the general direction that I have to go.
I think the annoying one for me is sometimes I'd be like, oh, I'll run, and I presumably have to go this way because of how the level is flowing. And I jump, and he wouldn't make the jump at all. It's like, oh, okay, right, maybe I've missed something, so I'll run around the kind of arena 4 times looking for another way. I'm like, there is just no other way. So I'll try the jump again, and he makes it, and I was like, why? I like to think I'm a good enough gamer that I know when to like press X to jump. You know, like it's not a timing thing. I think it's just old and dated. But that's okay.
Fair enough.
Another thing I don't miss, and you were having the same kind of issues with Red Dead, aiming with a controller. Whew.
I think that game was even worse than Red Dead because it didn't have the lock on.
There's no auto aim.
And it's like, when you are aiming, you can't actually, like, the way you turn is so bad. Like,
yeah, you can move your reticle, but your guy doesn't really move. So you're just...
It was terrible watching you like aim and then they start running and you're like, I cannot follow you.
It's not sensitive enough, but then way too sensitive in other areas. It's all over the place.
Very janky.
Yeah, I mean, it got through, but definitely there was, towards the end, a couple shooting sections. I was like, right, okay, can we speed this up? I'm here for the story and the story alone. But it was funny because usually on like PC, maybe you get like 2 body hits and then a headshot. Whereas on this, I realized it was like 2 misses and a body shot.
Nice.
I was like, oof, it definitely makes a difference.
Yeah.
So looking forward to getting back on this.
No.
But yeah. So yeah, if you're looking for something to do and you've got a PlayStation at home, which most people do these days because they've sold like over 100 million units.
Yeah. Some kind of console. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean...
Maybe this is a perfect time to revive the Wii or something.
It's
you
not.
know, family games, they can all play like Wii Sports Resort and play some bowling with the...
I mean, Wii used... not the Wii U. No, the Nintendo Switch has done really well.
Yeah.
That's got like, you can split the controllers and play co-op and stuff. Yeah, I think it's a good thing. It brings the family together.
It does, yeah.
It gives you something else to fight over other than who did the dishes. Me. But no, speaking of Red Dead, you've completed it, the main story.
Yeah. So I'm currently in epilogue part 1, So there's probably more than one part.
He's figured it out.
Yeah.
The whole way through, you were saying to me, "There's 7 chapters. There's 7 chapters." I was like, I don't know where you've pulled this number from, but
I'm so
there
sure
isn't 7 chapters.
You said that number at some point.
I
was so sure.
Because I was like, there's 6 main chapters and then epilogue parts, but the number 7 doesn't come into it.
I don't know. I'm just so sure I've heard you say it.
You kept saying it, but I didn't want to like correct you because I knew as soon as I did, it would give you. So like, oh no, there's only 6. And you're like, okay, right, it's coming to an end. I am in the
6th. Yeah. I mean, it was quite obvious that I was coming to an end. Like, it's definitely when you watch a film and you're like, yes, this is the final chapter. Like, we're building up to the final fight and stuff. It was quite obvious. That.
What did you think of it though?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. It's just like a lot of things are a long time coming.
Yeah.
But in that sense, it's also good because it's not something that is totally unexpected and you're like, what the heck? And it's still not too, I know exactly what is going to happen, you know, because it could still be like they turn Dutch around to still be a good guy. So like he kind of admits to his mistakes or whatever.
So isn't it because you've not played the first game as well, so you don't know? Because it's definitely. So I obviously played the first game when it came out in 2010, which is technically the second game because Red Dead Revolver also exists, but they forgot about that.
Yeah.
But yes, there's characters that are in both, obviously, so you know straight away. So even little things like John Marston's scar is the first thing that happens in Red Dead 2. Red Dead 2 is a prequel.
Yes.
And so there's stuff, but there's other things that are set up that I'm like, that's not going to get paid off. I mean, ever, if you ever, if you never played the first game, but I think it's definitely worth doing after, because like you get the full character arc, so it's interesting hearing what you think.
Probably the epilogue is going to do much more of that, because now in the epilogue I'm not playing as Arthur Morgan anymore, which is like the entire game
protagonist.
Now I am playing as John, who is the protagonist of Red Dead Redemption, the first game. So I guess they're gonna set up a lot of stuff that is like prequel to that game.
100%. And also a lot of people think it's quite slow because like you say, like a movie, the game builds and builds and builds up to the final confrontation with the Pinkertons and Micah and Dutch and everyone's facing off Mexican standoff. And then to skip, it's like a few years later, you know, and you're
different character
John with his family. That also, if you haven't played the first game, I mean, you've spent a bit of time with John. You've definitely done your fair share of missions, and I always get excited when you did a John mission because he's my favorite video game protagonist ever. But like,
it's like, oh, John is so cool. I'm like, okay,
is he?
Josh.
But he's got like this thing, because I know he's got character growth to come, and this is like the first kind of hint of that, but it's not there yet. So at the moment he's still a bit of an idiot. But yeah, so like to play as John with his family, trying to like work away on a farm, and not like in a jokey way, like they're undercover or anything. They are literally just trying to make it work as regular people. Is definitely a huge pacing shift.
Yeah,
that a lot of people had real problems with, but.
He doesn't even own a gun. I was like, I couldn't, because
you lose all your money, all your weapons, all your clothes, your horse dies, everything, and you're starting completely afresh. Yeah, poor Detlef.
She died. I don't know why I called her Detlef.
Well, what happened to your first horse, Jonas?
Yeah, so this was not a great moment for me. I had a very good horse, but Detlef is a better horse. But my first horse, Toast. I don't know how I come up with these names. But yeah, I was in Saint-Denis, so the big city of the game, I guess.
It's like New Orleans. It's based on.
Yeah. And I was riding across this bridge, leaving Saint-Denis, and I got ambushed at the end of the bridge. And literally within 3 seconds, I was dead.
I'm not... Okay.
No.
I mean, you definitely rode a weird way to escape them, for sure.
I did not ride anywhere to escape them because I was
went
like
to the factory.
I thought that's where I would go to hide because that is where cover is rather than like an open field on the other side. So that was my thinking. I was like, I didn't even have time to go into my weapons menu to select my repeater.
Yeah.
It was like over instantly, which is insane.
It's definitely one of the harder encounters in the game you get down there. The Lemoyne Raiders, when they just come for you.
Yeah. No, but like there definitely multiple instances.
Oh
like
yeah, it's
that,
like it's the same event. It just can happen.
And like usually you at least have enough time to react. Like it doesn't mean that you win, especially me, because I'm just like, you know what, I'll just stand in the open and start firing and see what happens. No, but that was definitely an instance where like there was no time to react whatsoever because they were coming at you from the front and from behind, and it was just like 3 shots, they all hit me, bam, I'm dead.
Yeah.
And I spawn back into the game and I'm like, okay, whistle for my horse. No.
Some random mutt turned up.
Some random. And I was like, okay, what is this? No, I think I didn't even... I'm not sure I noticed right away. I got on the horse and I rode to camp.
For toast.
And I only noticed because I didn't have my weapons anymore.
Okay, yeah.
So I was like, where are all my weapons gone? Because the weapons go with your saddle. And they were gone. And so I was like, what happened to my horse? And I just nowhere on the map.
Nowhere to be seen.
Couldn't whistle. I wasn't in the stables when I went there, and so that was definitely when I died. Toast also died at some point, maybe right before.
It must have been right before, yeah. So
really weird.
But yeah, whereas I had Billy the entire way.
Yeah, you had Billy the first, second,
well,
third.
no, he wasn't called Billy because I didn't know they'd kill.
Oh.
Like, so the first one was just Billy.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur's horse was Billy. And then he died when he's meant to die in the story,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm great, my horse didn't die.
Mm-hmm.
Sean's horse was Billy II in honour of Arthur's horse.
Uh-huh.
Then my online characters has 2 horses.
Mm-hmm.
So that's Billy the Third and Fourth. And they die repeatedly. But they're immortal, so it doesn't matter. Whereas in the main game, it should be said, if your horse dies, it dies forever.
Yeah. No, if you play online, you can bring them back.
Yeah, you can just pop in the head. Yeah, you can just write
wouldn't though.
No, but it's incredible how, like, after playing online, going back to the story, and I'm like, okay, right, I need to be slow up this mountain path rather than just galloping everywhere. Then if you hit a tree, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. So I'm not very good at riding.
Yeah.
In the game. Wow. Wow.
Peak humor, folks.
Jesus. You are definitely doing better.
Yeah.
No, it's just like, I don't know. It is definitely also the controls, because I've shown you this, like going straight forward and then going like it's like 45 degrees even.
Oh, there's just a dead zone.
Over is still going straight forward. I'm like, yeah, obviously I'm hitting trees because I'm like, this would do enough to like go past it, but it doesn't respond.
Yeah, I think Red Dead also has a problem that it's all like they want to make the animations as fluid as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is mapped out, whereas some games kind of cheat and you're like running straight, and then if you want to run right angles really quick, it'll just kind of go. And there'll be an animation to fill that, but it won't quite look right. Mm-hmm. Whereas because the engine that they use for Red Dead, basically everyone's got a skeleton and then muscles. It's the Euphoria engine, I think it's called. So that's why when guys get shot, they can like just go, because it's like the muscles contract on the body, so it all works like a human would. Which makes for some really cool stuff, but also it means that like stuff like taking cover and getting out of cover sometimes is just a little bit jank, because he's taking his time about it. Yeah. Because they're trying to fill in with this fluid motion.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm just gonna walk around here because that's where I'm gonna take cover, and you're like, no, it's not.
But it's kind of game versus immersion story.
Oh yeah. I guess it's also like once you figured out what it does. Like I would still have to spend a little time before I am like super onto like when I do get into cover, what cover am I actually getting in? Like what side of the barrel is he gonna
take cover? Well, even little things like just once you realize that when you press L2 and you're roughly aimed to a guy, it'll snap right to, means you can go like L2 R2 and then just kind of back out and then L2 R2 and just take shots like that rather than staying out of cover and cocking out.
Be much faster in that way.
Yeah, little things.
Yeah,
little things. But speaking of terrible PlayStation controls.
Yes.
The new PC is nearly ready, is it not?
Nearly, yes. So yesterday I did order a case.
Exciting.
So that should be the PSU, so the power supply and the motherboard are both in stock tomorrow and then shipped.
Okay.
Or like whatever, delivered. So probably by next week, early next week, I should have those two. And the case said like 2 to 5 days, which is really fast. So that should arrive in just about the same time. So maybe by next Wednesday I'll have everything to build a first PC without...
Except a CPU cooler.
A graphics card. Yeah, that's the thing. So, I mean, the AMD Ryzen, they come with the stock cooler.
Yeah.
But I haven't... Well, it's like either I build that into the computer or I get myself a better cooler.
So the cooler is obviously fine. Like, they're made for the chips that they come with.
Yes.
But by all accounts, it's a little hot for comfort.
Uh-huh.
And loud. Which is a shame.
Yes.
So yeah, we've ummed and out about going for a better CPU cooler. In fact, the same one that's in my PC. A nice.
Can you hear it? No.
I hope not. I mean, I can hear a little bit of fanage, but that's probably not those fans.
No.
No,
and also like it's obviously like if I do not use the cooler, then I could sell it as like a spare part because I don't need it anymore, or like if
that's
I
the Ryzen cooler. Yeah.
Sell the The
thing is, if you install it with that, selling it is a little bit less of a thing. Whereas you can say like this brand new, I don't need it. Anyone that's got, because the coolers get better as they come with other chips. So if you put that on like a Ryzen 5, that's a good cooler for that. So there's an extra 10-15 quid there.
I was thinking,
So yeah, that would be the thing. And then we're going to take the graphics card out your old PC. So it's actually an okay card. So,
for starters, to like start it up and stuff.
Yeah, then get Windows installed and all that stuff. Exciting.
And then I just need a monitor. That's actually what's still missing.
Yep.
It's like, oh, this is a really good PC, but I cannot tell the difference because the monitor still sucks.
What's the TV? It's like 1028 by 720?
No, it's 1280 by 720.
Beautiful. You get the screen door effect on the screen with the black lines around the pixel. It's a terrible TV. But
I mean, it's a TV. It's not a
monitor.
No. Yeah. No, but we can do... I don't know, because I would like to like have all parts there, so I can like do a proper build with everything.
Do you know what you have to do then?
I would have to buy everything.
Yeah. Especially the stuff that you've decided on. I don't quite understand why it's taking you this long.
No, I think the one... No, because like the graphics card and the monitor is like dependent on... Because I do want to sell my old PC.
Okay, I know
and so I'm like... If I can sell it for a certain price, I'm like way more comfortable going for like a more expensive version of either of those. And so like it's I kind of want to sell that before I get the other
think
stuff.
that there's the monitor that supports. So the unknown is if we go for 5700 XT, which is the graphics card that AMD make.
Yeah.
You can get away with an AMD FreeSync monitor, which are slightly cheaper. But it's not as good a monitor anyway. But if you go for the 2070 Super, which is the other card you're thinking about, you'd want a G-Sync
is 150
monitor. It's a good chunk more.
Pounds
Interestingly, in America, they're much closer. It's about $50.
Wow.
So yeah, it's interesting seeing like, it competes with a completely different card. Whereas I think the 5700 XT, if you don't care about deep learning super sampling, which is like... So there's tensor cores on the NVIDIA cards that have AI in them that basically upscale lower rendered things. It's very clever technology.
Anything that's AI seems to be very clever.
But their core is dedicated to that. So it's not grabbing GPU power from other areas. They've got encoding software, which you might actually use because you're video editing a lot. So they got dedicated encoder things, and obviously ray tracing, which is the next big thing for graphics in all video games now.
What is ray tracing, Josh?
Wow. Well, At the moment, that was
Crack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Well, I was gonna look up at the light, but as I did, I was like, "Oh, that's actually quiet. I'll do it." So at the moment, light, the way it's processed in both movies, games, everything really, or maybe 2 years ago, the way it was done, is called rasterization. So it's fake light everywhere, essentially.
Yes.
So they're kind of guessing what it will reflect off and where the light will go. It's all just fake. Whereas the way it's done now, with ray trace graphics, is they trace each individual light ray. So you can put like a light source in your game or
which
CG
is
scene.
one dot in a three-dimensional space, but like it emits
light.
in every
in a full
single
3D
direction.
way. Which is incredible technology. And like they're doing it in like the millions and billions of rays. So it's not as much as real life, but like plenty.
Yeah.
And little things, so like the reflections, they can only do maybe 4 reflections of light bounces, whereas obviously light bounces infinitely. But they reckon that 4 or 5 is enough that no one will be able to tell. And the
hey, this ray only bounces 3 times. What's going on, guys?
Yeah, but like it's incredible. The difference. There's a couple games that support
obviously
it.
it's way more information because you have so many individual rays that do a lot of different things, rather than like, okay, light is coming from this angle and it's just shining on stuff.
But I mean, there's some incredible things. So they've done a ray traced version of Quake, which is a really old school shooter from like the 90s. And that, okay, it doesn't look up to date, but it is, like, I think the best way I've seen it described is like, it's like playing a game through like nostalgia goggles. So like what you remember it looking like is what it actually looks like, whereas if you play it, what it actually looks like, it's like, oof.
Oof, yeah.
And they've also ray traced Minecraft, which I'm sure you've all heard of.
Interesting.
It's gorgeous.
Really?
Never thought I'd describe it like that, but it is actually gorgeous. It's really, really pretty. But other games that use it are Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Metro. Metro's the best one because that's got it's full light in the world, whereas the rest of them just use it for reflections or shadows.
I see.
But yeah, it's coming to the new generation of consoles, which means it should become more affordable, which is a big thing because at the moment it's quite expensive. And just more ubiquitous.
So those things are all the things I would be getting with the better
NVIDIA card. Yeah, so you're future-proofing for that, whereas otherwise you're always going to be stuck with rasterized lighting. Or an upgrade.
Oh, what a pity.
Well, I think for the way to look, like, if you've got, especially because the consoles are coming out this year with it, so it should become fairly easy to get to pretty quickly, I think. And like there's a lot of definitely articles that are capitalizing on, I don't know, it's kind of like fake news, but so like the 3060, which is the lowest of the new NVIDIA cards, is like, oh, it's better than the 2080 Ti, which at the moment is a over £1,000 card that, you know, is
it's
by
right there,
far and away
guys.
in excessive.
It might be doing the problem.
It might be problematic.
It might be problematic.
But it's like, oh, maybe it performs better, and you're like, that's such a clickbait title because, like, okay, so if the specs that are leaked are true, there's more tensor cores in a 3060 than a 2080 Ti. So it should ray trace better or the same.
Okay.
But there's not as many CUDA cores, which are the actual cores of a GPU. So sure, it'll ray trace fine, like, but there's more to graphics than that. And that goes for work applications as well, obviously, if you're using CGI to render light. It's like, okay, sure, you can render the light the same, but the rest of the stuff you're rendering isn't going to be as good. So
interesting, yeah.
You know, it's definitely a bit clickbaity, but I looked into that, I was like, really? Like, nervously
No,
clicking.
but I think that's also exactly why you should know what you're getting your product for. So if you want to get into gaming, I think you would do a lot more ray tracing than, say, in video editing, where you don't do that because...
But that's where you get the encoder stuff. So
yes.
There is...
Yeah. No, for sure. But like to be hyping something like ray tracing when you know you're not going to use it would be 100%. Not so smart. But
But to be honest, there's not many things. So I was actually looking into, like, obviously all the cards that are options, and there's the great Radeon 7, which is AMD's top card. Okay. And it's the one you get if you buy a Mac Pro. So it's the best card AMD make, at least consumer grade.
Yes.
And the thing that it's got a lot of is VRAM, which is the RAM on a graphics card. And like, that's all well and good for video editing, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Especially the way the market's going now, like with Disney's light TVs that we talked about,
Oh,
and the Mandalorian
yeah.
thing. So that uses ray tracing, of
Yeah.
course, because you need the lighting to be as realistic as possible. And
Yeah.
it is literally real lighting. Like
Yeah.
that's how it works. So if you're using that kind of stuff, you'll want Quadros, which NVIDIA make, which are their tippy tip top £10,000 graphics card, and you'll have 6 of them in a PC, and it'll be ridiculously excessive.
Yes.
But you're Disney. You know, you can afford that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you're doing like CAD work and designing, you're gonna want a Titan, which is like their non-gaming card. And you know, there's a card for everything. And then if you want the VRAM, you can get a 2080 Ti. The Radeon just doesn't have the feature set to justify it's still incredibly expensive, like £800-700.
Okay.
So
it doesn't actually separate itself from any of these cards in a meaningful way. Yeah.
And it's like, okay, it can compete, but it needs to be better, because like,
or at least
end of the day, you're going to be interested
one
in
of these things far
way
better.
Yeah. And that's why I'm always so confused with the Mac Pro, because like, if you're doing cinema stuff, it's not an option because it doesn't have the graphics cards you want. If you're doing editing, it doesn't have the core count that you want because it's limited to Intel. So they've got AMD cards and Intel CPUs. And AMD make a 64 core CPU at the moment.
Ridiculous.
I mean, it's insane. It's very expensive, but not that much. It's like $4,000, I think. Which, when you're looking at the best computer money can buy, literally like for businesses, you know, everything, that's not that bad.
Yeah.
Whereas I think the Mac Pro goes up to 28, if I'm right. Maybe 32. But that's obviously not as good.
No.
You know, so if you're like, I want to spend as much money as possible on a computer, and I think the top spec Mac Pro is like $60,000.
Yeah.
So I think it's 64 actually.
Ridiculous amounts.
But like, who is that for then? Because it's not for people that have infinite budget, because then you just wouldn't buy one. You'd buy the best thing money can buy, which is not that graphics card, not that CPU. It's only if you want the Mac OS, which is...
a lot of people want that.
But surely not in that level of play. Like 60, 70 grand, you're dropping so much to be able to do it.
I feel like,
Cut.
I think I've said this as well. It's probably not the people who are using the device, but the company who wants that device to be like, oh, we're paying for Apple.
Yeah. But I feel like as well, once you get to that level, like I understand maybe if you're buying like $7,000 computers for your starting out graphics company or whatever.
Because honestly, everyone who does video editing in Premiere, it's going to be Premiere.
Premiere's the same, yeah. I think anyone at the top is going to know what spec of computer they want rather than what operating system they want to click on the Premiere button for.
Yeah.
You know, at the end of the day, I mean, especially now, like Windows and Mac are so similar.
Yeah.
Like they do everything the same. There's almost no difference.
Except for the patent for like the
snap. So Windows Snap is where you drag a window up to the top and it like snaps straight to it. I didn't realize that Microsoft have actually patented that. So that's annoying, but also Apple figure out something. Now, if you're wondering why there was just a cut in the video, it's because Jonas has an apology to make.
It happened again. I think it's amazing that you just like full on straight like, oh, we're gonna brush it over, like start.
I was definitely gonna reference it, but I realized as you were breaking down in laughter.
Yeah.
It's some form of flow that is broken. No, why was it broken, Jonas? What happened?
Oh, the memory card was full because I didn't delete the footage from last time again.
And it's been like, what, 3 days since we've recorded?
So, this segues perfectly into our next topic.
Oh, I see.
Moving on.
Wow, so perfect.
But actually...
It does actually.
Because like we were saying, like the first thing is just like, we cannot wait for that...
the Elgato to come.
To arrive.
Oh, so it's going to be great. It's going to let us connect. We've spoken about it before, but we know that not everyone that watches this watches every video, so we will talk about it again. And you can just... the timestamps in the description below if you want to skip.
So, yeah.
So, you know, it's fine. But no, so it's a little device that lets us connect this camera directly to the PC, to our beautiful 8 terabyte hard drive, and just record
lots
for
of space.
days.
Yeah.
Because at the moment it won't do it, like the data transfer won't work.
Yeah. So we're recording on a 64 gigabyte SD card, which is not enough for 2 full hours. Yeah.
No. And we're only recording in 1080p, and hopefully the Elgato lets us do it in
4K even.
Hopefully. We'll see. It should do. And also be able to do live streams. So that'd be fun.
Yeah.
The only thing it can't do is, well, not the Elgato, but this camera can't do is record while charging, which is a shame.
Yeah.
That's definitely like creme de la creme setup. Something to
Because then we don't have to touch anything other than the record
We
button.
literally just go on and it works. It'd be glorious.
Yeah.
But for the future. But no, so that has been delayed till the 11th is when they're back in stock, hopefully.
Yes.
And then they'll get sent out. So hopefully by next
That's
week.
insane. Maybe like my PC will be here before that, and we've ordered that well before all the PC parts.
Yeah. Maybe. Although you've not bought every part of your PC yet because you're just slow.
Mm-hmm.
Like you say, so you can't install the cooler if you want to sell your cooler that comes with it. So you can't run the CPU because it'll boil
Instantly.
very quickly. You can't really enjoy the setup without a new monitor,
Yes.
which you haven't bought yet.
So it's like the three.
So I
important
do
parts.
think so. That was what we were getting at earlier.
Yeah.
Between like which graphics card and which thing.
Uh-huh.
So the G-Sync monitor also supports FreeSync,
Yes.
and it is the better monitor. So no matter which graphics card you go for, that will be a good buy. Whereas the other one's only really a good buy if you go for the AMD card.
Mm.
I reckon
Ah.
you're better off
You're
going
just
for the
getting
better
the better
monitor
monitor.
anyway.
Yeah.
And then it will be better with the AMD card regardless. And cause I think so. This is my chair that Jonas gets to sit in, and this is some crappy offshoot. Why it worked out like that, I blame my mother. She said Jonas
For everything, anyways.
not everything.
I mean,
The SD card, I blame you.
okay.
But no. So she said Jonas looked small compared to me in my big chair because Jonas
Because
is
I am small.
a small boy in a small chair. So we gave him the big chair to try and even that out.
Yeah.
But it like chairs are quite pricey. So I looked into like a whole range of office chairs and gaming chairs and ergonomic chairs and stuff. They are seriously expensive.
I think as soon as you write like office chair rather than like chair.
Chair. But even like the high end IKEA chairs run you a couple £100.
Holy
Like the ones that are actually made to sit in rather than this thing, which is like I'm basically lying down. Like you couldn't work in this. Whereas that's
what about like a good wooden chair?
Sure, I want something with wheels.
Okay. What about like a good wooden chair with like
With
the
wheels?
700 Apple wheels?
$700 Apple wheels.
Yeah.
A bargain.
Yeah.
I see no problem here. But no, so like I get bad neck and a bad back sometimes. So that's got built-in lumbar support and a nice neck pillow, which
You can like literally move every part of this chair. Like it's brilliant. You can move these.
forward, back, they twist, they go up and down.
They even go like sideways.
You can lean, like the whole chair leans.
So if you want to sit like two people on the chair, you can make it wider. So everyone, this is the button.
Or just if you're really fat. It's a great chair.
Yeah.
Strong recommend. But also I think, end of the day, the things that you interact with most. Okay, you want a half decent keyboard, which can be had pretty cheap, and a half decent mouse, which also is pretty cheap. But you're always going to be looking at your monitor and sitting in the same chair.
Yes.
So if you're not comfy and you're getting an eyesore because your TV isn't up to scratch, it doesn't matter how good your hardware is. It's like those are the things to kind of spec up. So definitely spend extra money on them, I'd say, because you'll notice the benefit.
Top tips.
Top tips.
Yeah.
Easy. So that's what I would do. But also you can't...
And I mean, we've been watching a lot of videos on, like, comparing stuff and, like, what makes a good PC and stuff. I think what I took from them is also, like, you want a monitor and you want that to set the standard of, like...
You want hardware that keeps up with your monitor.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, like, if your monitor is like the best thing, then you have reason to like push everything until you take the next step on.
Yeah, that's the thing. So if you buy like say you buy a £1,000 graphics card but you're running a 144 hertz 1080p monitor,
then that money
it doesn't matter. You're wasting money. And then if you, on the other end of the spectrum though, if you have a 1440p monitor and you only spend £300 on your graphics card, you're either going to get crap frames or you're going to be playing in 1080p anyway and doing stuff in 1080p, so it doesn't really matter that you went for the extra money. So like you want to have something that matches your specs. I think for you the thing that we landed on was actually going 1080p high frame rate.
Mm-hmm.
At least for gaming, that means that you can enjoy hand frame rates and high graphic fidelity. The only thing that's not going to be quite as good is the sharpness, which is fine. In terms of video production, an IPS panel is more color accurate than a TN, although TNs are slightly more responsive, but you care more about color than
Absolutely.
gaming performance. So
Absolutely, yes.
it's fine. That's why I have one of each.
My responsiveness is so sharp anyways, so fast.
That you make up for the 5
Exactly.
milliseconds wasted.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
It is interesting, because I've
Try
got
me.
3 monitors here. So we've got a TN, an IPS, and this is a VA panel. And it is interesting to see the
Because
differences.
we all know what that is. I love it.
Okay, well, if you don't, Google it.
Yeah,
I mean, okay, VA is the worst, IPS is best for color, TN's best for responsiveness in gaming.
Yes.
But they're a little bit muted. But I think you can tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
But, I mean, it's nowhere near as bad. I think the one thing is TNs have really bad viewing angles. But if you're looking at your monitor from a weird angle...
Why?
What are you doing? You know, that's just a weird use case.
I mean, the only thing I could think of is, like, if you are editing and you're, like, showing it to your buddy, then you might be sitting next to each other, but I think even then, you're still not at an angle that makes it...
A huge difference.
Yeah.
I mean, well, we had that, but that was on the VA panel, which is by far worse.
Yeah.
You know, that's a huge step down.
No, but I don't think it actually makes a difference the way it looks there. It's just at some angle you won't actually see anything.
Yeah. No, for sure. So it's kind of a bizarre use case, but it's something that gets mentioned in every monitor review. But I'd say if you're looking at getting a monitor, ignore it. The TNs, as long as you go for a high-end TN, then they look just fine. You know, I have no complaints. But yeah, so IPS, though, for a bit more color accuracy for video editing. Nice G-Sync, which smooths out the frames. If you don't know what that is, it means everything gets nice and matched to your graphics card. So
yeah, so the output of the graphics card
matches the frame rate of the monitor. So you don't get, even if you're got a high frame rate and it drops a little bit and it still stays high, you'll notice a stutter in the game. Whereas if it's always matched, you don't get that stutter.
Wow.
Incredible technology.
Yeah, I mean, the way you explain it to me is like you will not actually notice the stutter unless you actually watch the frame rate count.
Yeah. So a lot of people run
like,
with, in the top left of their monitor, just up here, a little thing that tells them their frame rate. Now, obviously, since we started streaming as well, that would just be annoying to have on screen. But also, I don't like it because I've got G-Sync on the monitor. So I don't notice the frame rate drops. But if you're always seeing this number, you're like, oh, I'm down to 120. Oh, no. It's like, but if you can't tell, it doesn't matter. It's only if you're like, oh, no, I'm getting stutters. Like, this is when it's a problem. Yeah. So it's interesting that a lot of people here complain, like, oh, I'm not quite pushing the frames out. I'm like, but if it feels fine.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely like a thing of like, you want to know how fast, how many frames you're pushing.
See, I like, when I first get a game, I'll always turn it on, sort my settings out, check that it's running fine, because every now and then, so like a game I played, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, brilliant game again if you're looking for something to play. It's like a cyberpunk.
Oh, we do like cyberpunk.
But yeah, so it's like augmented humans, but they're kind of being cast to the wayside after some. It's basically an allegory for racism.
Okay.
It's really, really well done though.
Okay.
Proper like 10 out of 10. But there's some anti-aliasing tech, which is, so that smooths out. So basically everything's made in like triangles, essentially. Just to oversimplify this massively.
Geometric
like polygons.
shapes.
Yes, geometric polygons or whatever. And that goes for everything that's CG as well. So if you look at like CG renders of like Andy Serkis did a really good one.
Yeah.
You can see all the different polygons that make up his face.
Yeah.
But there is a limit how many flat sides you can have before it. You know, you can always tell. So what anti-aliasing does is kind of blurs the image slightly to kind of curve that out to make it look more natural and real. So console games don't have that, which is why sometimes you get little, or a lot of console games don't, and you get a little like but on PC you can, and every now and then they come up with a new anti-aliasing technology which is meant to revolutionize things, and Deus Ex was one of those such games.
Okay.
So I cranked everything to what it said was the max on a, I mean, we already covered a very nice graphics card, and was pushing like, I think I got 15 frames, and I was like,
Wow.
Like worried. I was like, what is going on? This game is not new. Like it's pretty, but like, whew. And I looked up on Reddit and it was kind of like, oh yeah, no, it's don't use that. They never optimized it. It doesn't work. No other game has ever used it.
No.
It's like, right, okay. So it's definitely something to watch out for, yeah, because it went immediately up. But like,
no, but that's something you obviously notice. You don't need.
I didn't have the frame rate counter for sure. But like because there's like 10 different options for anti-aliasing tech. Because even like the ones, so you can do different passes. So you can like do whatever temporal TAA.
Mm-hmm.
But then you can pass it through twice or 6 times, 8 times, whatever, to see like how good the image gets. And the more times it does that process, because it's doing it instantly.
Yeah.
So the more times you do that, the more taxing it is on your GPU. So sometimes
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I want to get above 100 consistently frames. So I'll try each one until it's that and check there's no stutters. Then I'm like, okay, cool. Drop the frame rate counter, then G-Sync does the rest.
As good as you can without going below 100 frames. Yeah.
Which
that makes sense.
Once I found the right anti-aliasing was the max.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh, definitely had a wee panic. But yeah, so stuff like that is what I would use it for, and then pay extra for G-Sync monitor and drop the quality of something else, I'd say.
Okay.
Yeah,
so this is why...
But that's tech advice from someone that's PC doesn't really work at the moment, so...
I mean, it's doing fine.
It's working.
I
was very concerned. I booted it up and it said 100% utilization of the CPU.
Oh.
And I was like,
wow, home screen.
Yeah. Well, no, like everything because it crashed last time it was on. So everything opened back up at once.
Oh, no.
So just for a minute, I was like, okay. But it was fine. I've updated some software that I think might be the issues. We'll see if that fixes it.
That's classic, though.
But like that's a serious issue for software.
Yeah. No, and you'd also reckon like a lot of people would run into that problem if it is.
You'd hope so. Admittedly, I haven't Googled for it yet, but we shall see.
No,
I'm just looking at stuff. We've started. A couple of days ago now, we watched Extraction.
Yes, because
on
apparently some hype.
A lot of hype. I think this is the thing with Netflix films though, because everyone has Netflix.
Yeah.
So they release a film, they do like a wee trailer for it. Everyone watches it and talks about it for a day.
Yeah.
Because I've not heard anyone.
I think it's so easy for Netflix to create an artificial hype because they're like, this is trending. You know, they can just say it's trending.
They can just put it in trending.
Yeah. Or then they can be like, oh yeah, this is 94% match for you, and you're like, according to what?
Yeah, weird algorithms, especially when you start searching for stuff. Like, if you actually have a film in mind, you're like, oh, they do have that. I have never seen that recommended to me. I really want to watch this film. You're like,
So, anyways, but we did want to.
I want to cash in. To be fair, I was skeptical. I wasn't going to watch it until I heard people compare it to John Wick, and I was like, okay.
I do want to see how it compares.
I do want to see how it compares.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine.
It was fine. Like, I think for a Netflix original film...
Netflix is good.
Yeah.
It's one of their best.
Yeah.
I think the stuff it's getting hyped about isn't as good. So, also, we watch a lot of action films.
Yes.
It's definitely something that, if done right, can be incredible.
Yeah.
A lot of people talk about there's like a 21-minute one take. Right? Yeah. But that's...
First of all...
obviously... really impressive
if
you can do it, right? And I think a good example of that, we talked about The Raid before, which if you haven't seen
brilliant.
it, both of them, but The Raid 1, the fight between, there's a three-way fight between the two brothers and the guy, and there's a bit in that is just one take. It lasts maybe a minute or two, and it's incredible, right? And if you haven't seen it, go away, watch that film, come back.
Yeah.
You know, like it's one of the best action films I've ever seen. Still holds up. And the second one somehow is better. But the thing that makes that special is there's no cuts, right? And then there's the Kingsman scene, which I think hides the cuts really well. You know, where he massacres the church.
Yeah.
But there is cuts in that.
Yeah.
And I think there are bits in Extraction that are too obvious.
Yeah, so like...
There's a lot of whip pans where the camera just turns really quickly, and you're like, okay, that's how to hide a cut. And if you're turning to look at something, then a slight obscuration of the camera. So I think Kingsman has like a jacket fly over.
Yeah.
And that hides a cut there. Props.
Yeah.
But if you're like... I mean, there's one really bad offense thing where the camera's gone inside the car, which, cool effect, right? Or
Well done.
practical whatever, but effect. And then it whip pans round to look behind the car, but the camera just goes through the car magically. So you're inside, you turn round, and then it's like attached to the bumper.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that's not possible. So
yeah, you know there's been a cut. Yeah, no, I think it's exactly that where they're in a car chasing scene and just about to jump out or whatever, and the camera shows them. Okay, well, the camera shows us, like whip pans ahead of them to under the bridge where they want to go, and then whip pans back to them, whip pans back behind them to show like yes, they're still getting chased, and you're like, you know what, this is so
just
much
cut.
like there's so much like going on that I'm like just show us the like it doesn't the staying in the scene, like in terms of not actually cutting, but like whip panning and having hidden cuts doesn't actually add anything, and the fact that there are so many right after each other actually takes me out. So
yeah,
in that instance, I would be like, you know, it's cool that you can do it and that you can mask a cut like that, but actually it's not adding anything, rather doing the opposite. But then again, I also, in terms of the fight scenes, I think they were absolutely fine. Like, obviously, it's not martial arts, kind of like
no, it's like
hands-on fights.
The same kind of fighting as
which I do prefer. Like, if that's done right, it's really, really cool. It is more gunfighting.
Hollywood never does it right, though. So. I think, though, wait, can I just quickly say, like, in terms of the long take, I don't go into a film looking to critique it. I know I'm very critical. Yeah. But I would rather watch a film and thoroughly enjoy it. Yeah. And obviously, when people start comparing it to a film that I have high opinion of, I quite like John Wick. It's not perfect by any means, but like the first two are good films. Yeah. And then it starts doing that, and I've only watched that one take once. Like I've only seen it with the film, and instantly. As soon as the second whip pan goes, I'm like, oh, I'm out. Right. And then you start spoiling every single one, and then worse than that, you start looking for them. And 20 minutes, there's a lot of cuts. You know, like, you start, whereas if you got like a 5-minute scene, or like Kingsman, a couple minutes, you get away with it. Oh, yeah. But when you're that long, you do just sit there and you kind of like, cut. And it's like, okay, right, this is...
Yeah. No, I mean, it's the same thing. If someone says to you, like, you go and watch a comedy show and someone says like this is the best comedian ever, you're gonna want to try him and be like, see if I
try me.
Yeah, but I think that might be part of the issue, saying like, oh, it's a 20-minute.
Yeah. Like, well, that's what got me interested, and I was like, okay, if that's done right, that's gonna be incredible. Yeah. And it wasn't. But in terms of the actual action, I would say there are parts of it, not all of it, but parts were better than John Wick because they set up. Like, you saw the enemies coming, where they were coming from, and then dealt with, whereas John Wick runs into the problem with, like, a video game. But not even, though, because, like, you're just following John Wick running, like, towards the camera. A guy will come in from the side, get shot, die. Yeah. And he just keeps running, and you're like, cool. Or it's like...
because you're so stuck on John Wick.
Star Wars Episode 9. Yeah. When they're running through the spaceship.
Oh, yeah.
And all the stormtroopers are just dying left, right, and center. I'm like, I have no idea what they're shooting at. Are they in danger? Probably not. Whereas I think Extraction did a better job of, like, okay, these... guys, I mean, there's the bit where they follow the cop actually through the house as they're looking for him, and you kind of almost forget, and then Chris Hemsworth comes in and kills him with a knife straight away, and you're like, I mean, it's like, that's dope.
He definitely teleported somehow, but it's cool that you...
Yes, there is a bit where he literally goes to the other side of a building magically.
But at least I think it's cool that they do give you the space where they kind of detach from the main characters, just so you also get a feeling of like, we don't know where they are. They are hiding, and to get that from a different perspective is definitely a cool thing. So, I did like that as well.
It did parts of it right. I think it overstayed its welcome a little bit. And then, spoilers, the ending, I did not like. Nope. A lot of people had problems with the ending, and I was kind of like, I get why.
It's a ambiguous ending, and I think that's always...
To be fair...
It's gonna run into problems.
That's not the part had problems with, to be honest. Yeah. So basically, I mean, full spoilers, he dies at the end, and then is seen...
Yeah, he gets shot by a sniper, then shot in the neck. Well, the sniper shoots him somewhere?
Sniper shoots him in the chest, and then gets shot in the neck by like an AK, though. Yeah. Like, it's a big fucking bullet. Like, I swore.
It's fine.
Insert beep. Yeah. But, like, he's dead. for sure. Then he falls off a bridge just to really hammer it home, and then he's there. And I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
You know, it feels a little Disney, but okay. The thing I didn't like is basically the plot revolves around them having to save this kid. So this is actually
the epilogue is
I didn't like it because there's 2 rival mobs. Yeah. One of them kidnaps the other one's son.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then these guys are hired to...
Yeah, Chris Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth and his Australian gang are hired to extract the son, go into the other mob's base, get him out, extract him from a boat, and then, you know, get him back to the other mob. They are paying them to do that.
Yeah.
Right. So he goes in, and actually probably one of the better fight scenes in the film, takes out the room that are protecting, the room of guys that are protecting the kid, takes the kid, gets to the boat. Lo and behold, they've been played. So the mob that hired them don't want to pay, and they've taken out all their guys on the boat, including the cool guy with the beard, which I was very upset about because I got a lot of beard envy.
Yeah.
And then Chris Hemsworth is then running from the mob that are trying to get the son back into their custody, and the mob that are trying to get the son off
without having to pay.
Yeah. And the kid doesn't really know what's going on because he does know the guy that's killed everyone on the boat.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, do I go with him? Does he trust him? Does he not? Why is he being so...
Yeah.
He's trying to kill the guy that just rescued him. Like, what's going on?
I was honestly very confused. Like, I didn't quite get that. Like, obviously...
I thought he went rogue, for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't... Yeah. It was only when they actually said, oh, no, we've been played. They don't want to pay. I was like, okay, so that is what I thought happened, but I wasn't sure. That's when I'm like, okay, cool, that's definitely what's going on.
It's a bit convoluted.
But,
plot structure bad.
The mission was going fine, though. Like, it went exactly to scratch. And it makes sense for the guy that had their prisoner kidnapped to try and get him back. And that they serve as the primary antagonists.
Yes.
And then he does play off against the mob that's trying to get their son back, but doesn't want to pay as well. But they end up being friends, and he dies, you know, blah, blah, blah. But he takes revenge out in the end, or the girl in the team.
Yeah, so the person behind the operation of extraction.
Yeah, Australian boss leader that's hired by one but doesn't get paid.
Yeah.
Takes out her revenge on the captive mob. So that the mob that have captured the kid.
Yes.
And, like, while they were responsible for Chris Hemsworth's death, the whole reason that mission went wrong was because the other mob didn't want to pay.
Yes.
So either they're setting up a sequel, in which case they really shouldn't have left it as ambiguous if Chris Hemsworth survived or not.
Yes.
Or they need to take revenge out on the guy in prison and have, like, a cool prison tank scene. Yeah. Or kill both, you know?
Yeah.
That's fine, too. But it's just weirdly absent. I was like, oh, okay, cool, they're going to kill the mob boss that we've seen is in prison but still controlling things. You're like, nope. Why not? They're the ones that messed it up. The mission was fine until that point.
Absolutely, yeah.
And the writers have said that Chris Hemsworth is there to be like a guiding spirit for the kid. And he is officially dead, but leaving the door open. I was like, okay, but if that's what their writing intention was, there is a scene missing. Like, that is a failure as far as I see it.
Yeah, because it is in that sense, too ambiguous whether or not he's dead.
Yeah. Whereas I want a sequel of Chris Hemsworth killing the prison mob boss guy. Like, make a whole film of that. I'm fine.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
That's true. No, I don't know. It was... it's weird, because it was at the end where, like, the kid was basically saved. So they have to cross... it's very straightforward in terms of, like, you have to get there to reach your goal. So they have to cross a bridge to the point where the helicopter can pick up the kid. And so they're fighting their way across the bridge, blah, blah, and they've killed everyone. So Chris Hemsworth and the other guy who killed the people on the boat but now is helping him, both of them have killed basically everyone on the bridge from that side, and the extraction team have killed everyone from the other side. So the path is clear. But there are more people coming from Chris Hemsworth's side. So he tells the kid to, like, just make the run because he's free to go.
Free to go.
But he himself turns around and starts walking towards the enemies that are still coming, rather than backing up himself while still shooting.
Yeah.
I'm like, that would be a tactical retreat. Do it. Instead of, like, walking 50 meters in that direction, then turning around and still wanting to get...
And getting back.
I don't know.
It makes no sense. I think as well, like, this film is not memorable. So I had the same problem as Triple Frontier, which is another kind of militaristic Netflix film, where I'm like, I had a good time. That'll happen.
You can like pick out some moments, a few.
I think that the fight where he rescues the kid,
Mm-hmm.
and that's quite creative.
I also like the moment where he starts fighting the kids, and he's like,
Oh, he
"Come
like
on."
slaps one.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good fight. Because he refuses to kill children, which
Fair enough.
to his demise. I don't know. I mean, child soldiers is a grey area.
Yeah, because the kid is actually the one that shoots him in the neck.
But yeah, I think compared to films like 13 Hours, which is
Mhm.
definitely my guilty pleasure films, it's Michael Bay, but it's very historically accurate. The action's done really well. Like the first half of the film is just setting up the geography of what will become the fight scenes, which is a lot of restraint and is something that most action films don't. Like even John Wick doesn't do that.
Nope.
Not even close. Yeah, you are now in a place you are shooting. Whereas to be like, okay, I know the layout of this house, so I know that when these guys are trapped in this room, I know where they are in the house, and then when they're fighting through like the gardens, it's like a big embassy kind of building. I know what's going on, and it's incredible, and I really, really enjoy it. So in terms of like that kind of, because it does go for that grittier military aesthetic, I think other films do it better. Or Hurt Locker would be another one, when Jeremy Renner goes a bit rogue and he's like fighting through the town, or even American Sniper. I would rather watch. I think they've got more memorable scenes in them.
Okay, yeah.
With slightly better characters as well.
Yeah.
And a less convoluted plot in the end.
Yeah.
It's okay. Good entertainment. If you've got Netflix, great.
Oh, yeah.
It's not worth buying Netflix for.
No.
I don't think anything on Netflix
Well, like,
is
yeah,
worth
I
buying
mean,
Netflix
bottom
for.
line, bottom line is still like for a Netflix film, it is good.
Yeah, but what does that say about Netflix films? I don't know.
No, I mean, you can still tell, like, they are definitely going off of stereotypes and, like, archetypes and stuff. Like, he's lost and drunk, and therefore he's the only one who's crazy enough to do the job, but then he does it perfectly, and then he has to save a kid, and because of what kid is and innocent, but still pure and whatever. And
he has these
like,
weird flashback visions to his kid.
Yeah.
When he was at war that he never met.
Like, it's a bit
all over the place.
Yeah.
We have started watching, because we were a bit stuck on what to watch for Star Wars Day.
Yeah.
And we realized you haven't seen Clone Wars.
I have not seen any of the Clone Wars.
Started watching the Clone Wars cartoons.
Yes.
In chronological order, not the order they were released in.
Yeah.
Because they were not released in.
I think it's still mad.
It's like season 3, season 1, a little bit of each. You know,
2,
the
1,
movie.
the film, 3, now we're back to 1.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
What are you thinking of it so far?
It's a good, like, I think it's definitely, like, background TV.
Yeah. I think anything 20 minutes an episode is, to be fair.
No, I wouldn't agree with that.
Really?
There are definitely TV shows that are 20-minute episodes. Definitely, like, I think it, which is also why it's so annoying. Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the first couple of seasons, definitely. Like, I was watching them. Like,
Yeah.
But with this, it's just, I don't know, a lot of similar things happen.
Yeah.
And that's why it's not, I don't know, like, it's much easier to switch off. And I think that's quite interesting of an experience for me, because I do know, like, that I get very focused and into things. So, like, when I'm watching, I'm usually
You're
always
focused
watching.
on it, yeah.
So it was interesting for me to experience something where I'm like, I'm actually fine. Also getting out my phone and doing something, and then when I get back to it, like I've missed 5-10 minutes, but I don't care.
Matter.
Like,
I was saying, so I've only watched it once, and I did it while I built up all my childhood Lego, my Star Wars Lego.
Nice.
Which is obviously something that you have to focus on.
Yeah.
But like if there was an engaging episode or scene, like you just paid attention to that whole thing, and then went back to it, and you still pick up the dialogue, and you're kind of half watching it. And I think that's definitely the way you should watch. There's some brilliant plot lines in it, but there's like 100 episodes, and if 50 of them are brilliant, you can definitely afford to switch off a little bit.
I think also what helps is that you know exactly what happens afterwards, so like in the end where everyone is gonna end up. So like, they're trapped with Count Dooku, like Anakin and Obi-Wan, and you're like, nothing significant is gonna happen, because
for
both
sure.
all
In saying
three
that, there is good development for Anakin, because obviously he goes from like Padawan to fully fledged Jedi Knight in the movies, and
That's
like
true,
onto
yeah.
the Jedi Council even. So like it does flesh out that kind of dynamics. They start off still a little bit like not equals, and
Yeah.
then ending up as the equals that they are in episode 3. It's a nice progression for him, I think.
True, yeah.
He does get a bit grumpier. But also, forgot how funny it was.
Yeah,
There's definitely
good jokes in there.
There's good jokes, and there's a good mix of characters. So even like Jar Jar has the odd episode. He doesn't overstay his welcome in the slightest, and he's like there for maybe 5-10 minutes in an episode, and you're like, oh, okay, he's made some jokes, then he doesn't show up again for another 10.
It's definitely the droids that make the most jokes. Like, they're stupid.
They're idiots.
They're absolute idiots. But it's fine, because it's like, it's just sprinkled in.
It's just little things, and sometimes the clones have a wee thing. Obi-Wan is like a sass queen.
Absolutely,
He's brilliant. But like, there's a little bit of different humor for everyone. So if you like the kind of more slapstick stuff, the droids are there for you. If you enjoyed Jar Jar in episode 1, he is there. If you like Obi-Wan, like way exaggerated, but is still sassy as he is in the movies.
If you want 12-year-olds bickering, then Anakin and
his Padawan, Ahsoka.
Yeah.
Who's like a fan favorite character. You're not allowed to criticize her.
Oh my god.
I never really got it. Like, she's cool, I guess.
I definitely see how it's fan favorite for the target group.
Yes.
You know, because it is probably made for kids.
I think it's young teens.
Young teens,
I mean,
yes.
it is
and
officially a 12.
That is exactly what those characters are.
But I think as well, like, so they still deal with mature themes.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas that thing, so Rebels, the cartoon that Disney made, came out and is targeted for, like, preteens, and there is nothing. It is hollow. It's just mindless
annoying.
adventuring with no character development. It's all characters.
Ooh.
That's me. Hang on.
Yeah, no.
You don't have to keep talking. I'll be back.
But I want to keep talking.
Hang on.
That's a package arriving for Josh. I do love that because like now the packages are always like left in front of the door.
Or are we just still rolling?
Yeah, we're still rolling.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi.
And they always take like pictures of
Hi.
the package in front of the door to like so they have proof of delivery themselves.
Sure, yeah, I mean, that guy just walked off. I was kind of like...
Ooh.
I was like, because he knocked, so I presumed he just wanted to speak.
Yeah.
But it was just like on the ground. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, no.
I do like that they still have a message for every... I mean, every Clone Wars episode starts with like a one-liner, like some sentence. And you know, like, okay, this is the message. It's about friendship. It's about to fail in honor is better than to succeed in like as a fraud or something.
Actually,
I think
that is exactly what it is, I think.
that was one of the last episodes we watched. Yeah, but it's something and I like that because then that's also something you can focus on while missing other stuff during that episode.
Yeah, no, for sure. There's definitely we're still to get to the good plot lines with Darth Maul, but they're coming.
They're coming.
Excited. Yeah, I think we'll call it a day there. Sorry, I had to run off and get parcel, but
that's all good.
I'm glad that you.
This is real life, guys.
This is it's almost live, which we'll be able to do soon when we have the Elgato.
Yes.
And then we won't have to worry about SD card issues that I will have to edit out on my broken PC.
We don't have to worry about brain issues.
Yes, I'm glad it's not just me.
Yes.
Lovely. Yeah, no, I think our Netrospective will still be to come.
Yeah.
Taking a bit of time between the next one because we did 2 in a row. So.
Yeah.
We'll think of something to watch. Maybe Blade?
Oh, yeah?
I'm thinking Blade, but then you haven't seen Alien or Predator.
There's so much to watch still.
There's so much to watch still. So yeah,
we'll keep you posted for sure.
Yeah, hope you're all staying safe, doing well. Don't get a throat infection like me, but at least it's not COVID, I suppose.
But do cook for your flatmates.
Yes, yeah, if they're being
and even
ill.
if you're staying with your parents, like I know that a lot of you are staying with your parents and you're like taking advantage of that.
Taking advantage of your parents, like
absolutely. I mean, it is so comfortable to be like, yes, I'm not going to do the shopping.
Spaghetti hoops. Yeah. The parents are like, thanks. Never cook for me again.
No, treat them.
Also, I should say, because I want to boast a little bit.
Yeah.
Because we went to Morrison's today to pick up a prescription, and they have like a pharmacy in Morrison's,
Ah.
and the queue. I mean, there's always a queue, but I've never seen it this long. It went around the car park.
It was certainly more than 200 meters.
Yeah. Humongous.
More than 200
in the
meters.
sun as well, which like is nice and all, but there's a line where you're like, I just want to sit down and just
I want
to sit down and not be in the sun, and just I think there's a long time to just be standing there. But I snuck up to the security guard and was like, hey, can I just, skip? I just want to pick up some drugs. And he was like, have you got a prescription? I was like, they don't do that anymore. They like fax it straight to the place. And I was like, lol, they still fax, but you know. But he let me in, and he like watched me as I went round, and I came out and they had it just ready there, and I was like, yeah. And I was tempted to like run past everyone in the queue doing like a celebratory just like, look what I got. But I refrained. So if you are in that situation, know that you can ask the nice security men to let you past. But I just thought I'd boast by that because I saved hours of my life.
And mine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. It's just been sitting there forever. But yeah, cool.
On that note,
I think this is quite a long episode, so yeah.
Oh, that's alright.
That's alright. I have no idea because the timer stopped halfway through.
It's about 1 hour and 15 minutes.
Wow. So we hope you had a good hour and 15 minutes. Cool. Remember, and like, share, subscribe, and click the bell icon if you've made it this far.
This bell icon.
Okay. Bye!